Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 574.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about something that I have a little different take on than perhaps some other financial experts. But there is this idea out there that if you put off living today, you can somehow live better in the future. So what we're going to talk about today is why you can't starve your way to wealth. And this is something that I wrote about in You're Already a Wealth Heiress. And a couple of people commented that that line really stuck with them. So I wanted to chat with you about it and just delve into that a little bit deeper. Because as I've talked about before, if you're really miserable and you're living a meager life, really way below your means, hardly doing anything, not socializing with friends because you don't want to spend money, I think that's making money way too important. I think you're making it more important than living. And that's not a good thing. Speaking as a woman who is widowed, whose husband, the day he collapsed unconscious, had no idea that morning that he would never regain consciousness again. There are no guarantees that we're going to be on this planet until age 85 or any age for that matter. So rather than not living today so that you can theoretically live better at some point in the future, I'd rather have you put one eye on today and one eye on tomorrow. That gives you a balance. You've got a focus on today for happiness and living, and you have a focus on saving and investing for tomorrow. This comes in the form of spending priorities. I've talked about your 5 spending priorities, both on the podcast and in my book. And it's important because you want to know where you really get the most enjoyment out of spending money and make sure you're saving correctly for your goals for the future. So what do I mean? What's an example of 5 priorities? Well, maybe you have a priority for a good retirement. So we're making sure that you're making a nice contribution to your 401k or your IRA or whatever retirement plan you have access to. You also might have children and you want to save for their college education. So you're putting money away for that. You may also want to remodel your house or buy a home or upgrade your home. That's one of your important goals, and that's on your 5 spending priorities. And then you have a vacation that you'd really like to go on or some travel that you want to do. And finally, you enjoy socializing with your friends or with your family. You enjoy going out occasionally to a nice dinner or to try out a new restaurant. These might be an example of your 5 spending priorities. But what you're doing is you're putting some focus on today and enjoying life today, and some focus on your long-term goals and preparing for tomorrow. So that's one eye on today, one eye on the future. The other way is to put no emphasis on quality of life today and to live meagerly, foregoing meeting up with friends, foregoing having a nice dinner, foregoing doing some nice activities or having special moments or special trips, and putting that all off into the future with the hopes that you can invest well and someday you'll have more than enough to do all of those nice things. Well, like I said, there's just no guarantee of how long we're going to live. So that's very difficult to put off living today. What I'd like you to do is find joy and gratitude in every day that you live. First of all, wealth really comes from being grateful for everything that you already have and connecting in with your joy. That's going to give you happiness in life, fulfillment in life, and I'm not suggesting that you spend more money than you have. I'm suggesting that you live within your means, but I'm just suggesting that you don't live like a meager pauper hermit under a rock, don't want to spend money, don't want to go out with people, don't want to do activities. That's just not a healthy way to live. That's making money more important than your life, your happiness, your family. But what if you're just so miserable at your job that every day all you can focus on is retiring early? You just want out of there. You can't stand your boss. Your job is just the worst. The commute is terrible. I get it. I totally understand. And maybe there's a sliver about your job that you actually like, that you could focus in on that sliver. Because there's some reason that you went into that line of work to begin with. There was something about it that you liked when you started. So maybe there's a sliver of joy that you could focus on and expand. And maybe that can grow so that you're not so miserable. But if you really are that miserable, then I suggest that you make some changes because you'll probably make yourself unhealthy and sick by being so unhappy and so miserable and so angry and all worked up inside. If you're that frustrated to get out of your job, you probably need to find a different job or start your own business. There's so many possibilities that are available today that weren't available 20 years ago. Life is completely different because of the internet and the possibilities, the things that are available to you to do to earn a living are unbelievable. And the amount of money that's being made in all kinds of areas online is spectacular. You shouldn't feel like you're just tied into something so horribly. Or if you have those golden handcuffs and you absolutely can't leave, then focus on what you do like about that job. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to dream and visualize your future. You're the creator of your future. No one else can create your future except for you. But I don't want you to take for granted that every day is just a given, because many people leave their home in the morning and don't return at night. And that is a sad thing to have never lived, because money was more important than doing anything that would give you joy with it. So create your 5 spending priorities, whether that's retirement, college, a new home, or an upgraded home or a remodeled home, vacation or trip, and socializing with friends. You can set an amount that you want to spend for each one of those areas and stick to it. Then you know you're spending your money where you really want to spend your money, where you really get joy out of your money. And you're living today, but you're also doing the responsible thing for the future. One last bit of advice, and that is to implement my ways to save tens of thousands of dollars. Because if you implement my ways to save tens of thousands of dollars, it's going to put some extra money in your pocket. It's going to take away some of the financial stress that you may be putting on yourself. And it's going to show you how you can literally save tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. And that can make a huge difference to your lifestyle and the way you're living. That starts on podcast number 497. So now I want to read to you what I wrote in my Wealth Heiress book. You cannot starve your way to wealth. You can only cut so many expenses before you're living in the woods. There is the rare exception of the high-paid tech worker who squirrels away quite a bit of his or her multiple 6-figure salary and gets to $1 million. But for most people, it's impossible to simply save your way to wealth. There must be an investing component to grow your money and get it to begin compounding for you. Many stories I've read about people saving money and becoming millionaires oddly omit the part where they compounded their money at a high rate. Compounding is how one grows and multiplies money over time. Your money grows, and the money it creates grows too. That's from page 13. Yeah, I don't want to see you living in a tent in the woods trying to save the maximum amount of money. That's not a great way to live, and I want you to have enjoyment and abundance and feel like the world is your oyster and you can experience it by telling yourself you can't spend money on things. Now, granted, I'm not talking about everything. As I said, I want you to stay within your income, but by telling yourself you can't go out for a nice dinner occasionally, or you can't meet friends in a restaurant, or you can't take that nice vacation, you're denying yourself the enjoyment that money can bring. There's always the ability to make more money. Money is not a finite source. You can expand your skill set and get raises. You can show more value at work and get promoted. You can start your own business. You can start a side hustle. There's no end to the ability to expand the money that you have. So rather than looking at how to buckle down and not spend anything and make money the most important thing, I want you to make life the most important thing and figure out how to master your money, not make money your master. So I want to switch gears for a minute and share with you what happened to me last night that was so exciting. And I have you to thank for it. And that is, I got notified that You're Already a Wealth Heiress, Now Think and Act Like One made it on the list of best wealth books of all time. There are 42 on the list by bookauthority.org, and Wealth Heiress made that list. They apparently use an algorithm of reviews and book sales and positive comments about the book. And so I had no idea we were even being considered, and here we are on the list. I have to thank you because of all of your reviews, and just taking the time to write the reviews has meant so much to me, and it's really now made a difference. And I just want to thank you for that and share my excitement with you, because this is truly something I never expected. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And in that note, we are going to continue our review giveaways. As I mentioned on the last podcast, we have 12 prizes to give away in June. We have 5 of the Wealthy Mindset Blueprint audio sets valued at $197. We have 5 of the Wealth Heiress books that I'll personalize for you, and 2 wealth mentoring sessions with me, 2 individual wealth mentoring sessions with me valued at $500 each. If you leave a review on Amazon for the book, your name goes in the hat one time. If you leave a review on iTunes, your name goes in the drawing a second time. But if you do both a book review and a podcast review, your name goes in the drawing 3 times. And the drawing will go through June 30th, and I'll announce the winners on the following podcast. So thank you so much for that. I'm so grateful. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.